Gather round, everyone. Take a seat. Get comfortable. And let me tell you a story. A story of friendship, discovery, love, a diverse group of characters, an eldritch Lovecraftian villain. A story about a group of unlikely heroes uniting against all odds to defeat a greater evil and save the world.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
This is a tale you have probably heard before, but you have not heard this version of it, for it is my own. My name, Solo Sack. I can't seem to remember any of my life before that moment. It's all blurs and flashes of loneliness. The last thing I remember was waking up in an unknown spaceship after eating mushrooms a wizard gave me at a Tool concert. That being, in this tale of goblins, dragons and demons, the most unlikely thing to believe. Tool having a consistent touring cycle, but it's true, goddammit! As I got my bearings, I made my way through the ship, before finding the one thing I hated more than myself. A big, juicy brain! Oh, disgusting! I beat that thing harder than my own meat on a Saturday night and squeezed it until its life juices had run dry.
Disgusting!
I made my way outside to get a better idea of what was going on, and that was when I found an even greater fear. A woman!
This is your end.
She suggested a team up, but I was not interested in such a thing. But for some reason she wouldn't take no for an answer, and that's when we were ambushed by a bunch of baby hellspawn. As I ran into the fray, she offered her assistance, but I explained that being a woman meant that it had been both scientifically and medically proven that right now the only thing she should be doing is making me a sandwich and leaving the fighting to me.
How dare you!
But after the fighting was done, there was no sandwich. So I did the only logical thing and stripped her of all of her armor, weapons, medicine, and then pushed her off the edge into the abyss. But I got so distracted playing with all these hentai tentacles that she somehow found a way to climb back up. We carried on with our journey and found our way to what seemed to be the hospital wing. But I had just tasted blood, and I wanted more. So I made sure the sleep these patients were enjoying would be their last. But I wasn't done. I wasn't yet satisfied, and this woman wouldn't listen to me or stop following me. So I axed her one last time to leave me alone. I then arrived at the control room, where I saw what can only be described as Squidward tentacles having a duel to the death with a demon. Squidward was always like me, a loner and a misunderstood artist. So I did exactly what he told me to do and ran straight to the wheel, because we all knew Jesus was never taking it. And just as I arrived ready to save the day with my sick driving skills, the dragon from Shrek and Shrek 2 showed up looking for her donkey and ruined everything. As the ship was crashing down, only me and Squidward remained. He wanted to go down with the ship like a good captain should. I, on the other hand, wanted to recreate that one Kratos meme.
Sing with me, sing for the year, sing for the laugh and sing for the tear.
Then, by some sort of divine intervention, I survived the fall. But I knew here and now that my adventure was just beginning. I woke up on a beach feeling much more clear-headed and wondering what the hell were in those mushrooms for me to have such a weird dream. Or hell, maybe I was just a lightweight, who knows. As I walked through the wreckage, looting every corpse, I find I started to feel something amongst all of this death.
As soon as you delve into your mind, it is filled with flashes of 1,000 different dead. There is something unknown and unspeakable deep within your heart.
Not wanting to dwell too long on feelings, because what am I, a woman? Pfft. I continued along the beach and found the corpse of that frog lady from before. Should have just made me a sandwich, bitch. But then, as I reached the end of the path, I started to hear something, and then I saw it. An emo girl! Oh, disgusting!
No matter. Walk away, Gith.
And a racist emo. God, just when you think you've judged a group poorly already.
Not a step closer.
What are you gonna do?
You asked for this, Gith.
Using my superior male strength, I took the emo down in a single blow, but as she fell, something floated off of her corpse and into my hands. It was a small thing, a pretty thing, a precious thing. I continued my trail of loot goblining, or Owening as I like to call it, stomped out some brains and then found a group of bandits that were surrounding some ruins. And while I had no interest in them myself, the last thing I wanted was other people getting what they wanted. So I told them to scram.
Well, in that case, come on you lot. No point in getting killed. Second worm gets the cheese and all.
Second mouse gets the cheese, no?
Nobody's getting any damn cheese! Now move it!
I needed to go closer inland, maybe find someone actually willing to help a psychopath like me. A floating triangle of wood? Huh. Wonder what the hell's that's for. It was then that I noticed some footprints, so quite naturally I followed them, until I came to what can only be described as a portal that must have led to an all-you-can-eat buffet, because out of the portal shot a delicious hand, ready for the taking, with an unknown voice coming from within.
A hand? Anyone?
I'm still not sure if that voice was trying to talk to me or not. All I knew is that I was still hungry.
Mistress Eyelids, stop! Cease, you loon!
As soon as the dreams cross the threshold of your imagination, you snap back to realize they have all come
Wow,
true.
that is delicious. Finally, some good fucking food.
Hear shouting up ahead.
Not wanting to be jumped by another woman, I take the high ground like Obi-Wan Kenobi to assess the situation.
What's going on?
Goblins are on our tail! Open the gates, Ethel, now!
You let goblins here? Where is the Druid?
Ooh, a fight! This would no doubt turn out to be an excellent slaughter.
Damnable roach. Provoke the blade. And suffer its sting.
I don't like this guy. He's trying to force main character energy and there can be only one. I sit back and watch the slaughter, throwing various traps to make it more difficult for everyone but me, and push this guy out of the way because he was blocking my view. The fight seemed to be going pretty bad for everyone but Mr. Main Character hiding away in the corner letting everyone else fight for him. Pathetic. Can you imagine someone doing something like that? And then, when everyone was in bad shape, he ran in to kill, steal everyone and take the glory. But that was when he made his biggest mistake, and went in as his last human shield went down, leaving him as the only target. Finally realizing he was in fact not that guy. With the red team seemingly being the victors, I wanted to see if this dude on the roof could actually finish the job and pull out a win for the team. But then when one of the goblins thought I was actually participating in this and decided he wanted these hands ending the match, well, I guess that makes me the winner, right? I entered the grove and spoke to the man on the roof who just lost out on the win to me.
Pity. But he might have got more of my people killed, if not for you.
Yes, you are right, sir. That victory was all me. He wouldn't shut up about his problems, just me. Buddy, I got a worm in my head. You aren't the only one with things going on, you know. Having seen how pathetic their warriors were, I wanted to test their defenses, and straight away, yep, just as I thought, very penetrable. After killing the would-be assassin, I seeked kind thanks from milady, but she was less inclined.
Why, thank you, dread slayer of bugbears. You shall live forever in my memory. Now take my regards back to that pouting Irenes and leave me alone.
God damn it, I just want a friend, but fine, bitch, if you want to be like that.
That's a fair trade. Here. Take this soul back to the damned place it came from.
A soul coin, true to its name, holds a mortal soul inside. It serves in the Nine Hells as very valuable currency.
Ooh, neat. Having no interest in these pathetic people's needs, I made my way back to where I could feel confrontation in the air.
Your mind wanders. If the crossbow bolt shot through her mouth, would she taste the metal before she died?
As much as I wanted to find that out, having seen their fighting prowess from earlier, these goblins could prove useful later.
You, move!
What you gonna do? After saving the goblin's life, she told me that her friends are sick of these pathetic weaklings as well and wanted them all dead. And after watching them fight earlier, I much preferred their odds. So I unlocked her cage and we made our way out of the grove. But after 2 minutes of walking, I decided I wanted Burger King and she wanted a McDonald's, so we parted ways to meet up later at her friend's house. It was then I found a group of people surrounding a man that had clearly partied too hard last night. In his dying breath, he told his friends that I was a pretty cool dude and that they should follow me.
He's a true soul.
Mind him!
He will. He.
You're a true soul. Edwin, our brother, he was chosen. Do you have orders for us? We were reporting to Edwin.
But unfortunately, I had to let them down and tell them I was in fact not a pretty cool dude.
What?
What are you doing? Your sword, brother, now!
The absolute.
I dispatched of the brother quick enough, but the sister was playing hard to get. But when it was done, I gotta tell you, the feeling of reuniting a family in the afterlife, oof! Oh, it's just some great dopamine, man. I wanted to check out the body of the party guy before I left, and that's when I felt it.
Why let its host's memories go to waste? The tadpole has absorbed it all. Its experience could nourish you, strengthen you.
A friend? For me? It was too good to be true. I didn't care if he was just a worm. I would name him Gregony, and he would be mine. Me and Gregony made camp for the night, where I put on some of the merch from the tool show and got a well-earned long rest. In the morning, I continued on my journey where I bumped into a strange white-haired man in distress.
Hurry! I've got one of those brain things cornered. There, in the grass. You can kill it, can't you? Like you killed the others?
I'm sure you can handle it.
I was hoping for a kind soul. Well, not to worry.
Betrayal! I did everything I could to push him off, but he was stronger than he looked.
Now, I saw you on the ship, didn't I? Not?
I tried again and managed to get him off.
You son of a...
After telling me he too was an avid worm collector, asked if we could be friends, but the only friend I wanted him to have was an axe in the back. I carried on following Goblin Lady's tracks, but then as I entered a small township, I was ambushed by a different group of goblins.
Don't bother running. My archer's got decent aim and plenty of arrows.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
So I gave them a single warning that I was not to be messed with. They soon enough backed down.
Hold up, lads. This one might be more than we bargained for. Go on then. Just keep your nose clean.
While making my way through the township, I met a group of ogres arguing over what animal human tasted like, and being a professional on the matter, I told them the right answer was chicken, because every unknown meat, according to everyone ever, tastes just like chicken.
Food? No, not food. Too tough for your digestion, I fear. Perhaps friend, then.
Impressed with my superior intellect, they gave me a genuine replica of Boromir's horn from the Fellowship of the Ring. I was pretty glad to see people of this world are starting to realize what a big deal I was. After checking out the rest of the town, well, I realized it was kind of a dump, so I continued on my mission. And not a moment too soon, because waiting just outside was Goblin Lady, who finally introduced me to her friends.
Bragslin's drow friend won't be happy to hear that.
A drow, you say? Oh, be still my beating heart. As we made it to the entrance, what's that? Oh, my head!
Hear my voice. Obey my command.
It was the mushrooms. It must be. Oh, they were finally leaving my system. It was the only explanation for these sudden visions of shadow monsters.
An armored male elf exuding power and command. A handsome younger man with a quick, easy smile. And a pale young woman with even paler eyes.
These are my chosen. They speak for me.
The visions fade and the voice falters. A strange energy swells around you. The Githyanki heirloom. Somehow you understand it's repelling the presence.
My power grows. My forces gather. The reckoning draws near.
Thank you. Thank you for getting me through that, my precious. I tried to catch up with Goblin Lady, but just outside the front door was an open mic night competition, and I wanted to check it out.
Fragulous crown and draw Ragslin, short work of the innkeeper, maid.
It was truly terrible.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks! I never.
You broke him!
Wait! Draw Ragslin, we pray, we.
Come on, pigeon! Back to your cage!
Now, look what you've done.
Having broken this amateur musician's spirits and dreams, it was finally time I entered the house party to meet this drow lady I've just heard so much about. She was beautiful. Never in all my years had I seen anything like her. The white hair, dark skin, voice of an angel that smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day. And I could feel that she knew I was autistic as well.
Your prisoner is one of the Absolute's favorites, Saza. A true soul.
Nah, it can't be. They was in the grove, hanging around with the tieflings.
Undercover, no doubt. Carrying out the Absolute's will. Oh, Saza, you have made a grave error. And it will be your last. My spiders are hungry, little one.
Absolutely sadistic. I would do anything she wanted me to do.
You have a part to play in this slaughter.
Return to the grove. When my raiding party approaches, throw open the gate and signal me.
I had my mission. I knew what must be done. And that is return to the grove to slaughter every last man, woman, child in the name of my new drow waifu. I wanted to impress Minthara, so I knew I had to get stronger first. I made my way north where I saw smoke on the horizon, so went to investigate.
Graduate Raven Guard could be inside. Don't just stand there. Push!
Weak, pathetic humans, let me show you how it's done.
Inside, hurry! We don't have much time.
I saved the trapped woman from the burning building who told me that the Duke had gone missing and they needed my help to find him. Find him yourself.
Tis not fealty, I ask. Merely a great favor on behalf of my city.
No, I said find your own goddamn Duke. She didn't really like that answer, but for saving her still gave me a pretty sweet new bow. It was then I encountered a pack of wild gnolls. If I could find a way to take them out, I was sure to get stronger. But not yet. It was far too risky. So, like an absolute American Ninja Warrior champion, I effortlessly jumped down from the bridge to make my way around them.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Where I eventually found a small hut, surrounded by the dead. Clearly my kind of establishment. I went inside and spoke to who appeared to be the leader, who told me they were paladins of Tyr, and they were hunting a demon woman. I told them that while I thought Tyr was an underutilized character in God of War Ragnarok, I would still happily help them nonetheless, by destroying this demon lady.
From that peek I got into your head, I'm not the only one with problems on top of problems. A mind flayer tadpole, huh? And no joy getting it sorted as of yet, I see. I'm Karlak. And you are?
She seemed nice. Friendly, even. But I had dealt with both women and demons before, both of which are essentially the same thing, so under no circumstances should be trusted.
Too bad. I thought maybe you could be a friend. Could have done with one of those.
She put up a good fight. Better than most of the enemies I'd encountered up until this point, but a good fight was not enough. This devil's head was mine.
The head comes free with a sickening crunch.
I returned the head to the pathetic paladin leader, who gave me his sword as a reward. Knowing that their god would never grant them entry to Jotunheim for having someone else do their dirty work for them, I decided it was best if I just put them all down now, rather than waiting for Father Time to do that for me. It had been another long day, and I was tired, so I returned to my camp, where this strange zombie guy suddenly showed up and told me about hirelings.
For a mere pittance of coin, I might summon the worthiest among them to lend aid to thy undertaking.
But I had no need for them, so I went straight to bed, thinking about Minthara. And that is when she came to me.
I came just in time. You are transforming.
It was the wizard from the Tool concert. I had no recollection of the wizard being a midget or a woman, both of which were horrifying revelations. I wasn't sure if I could even trust her. But that's when she showed me something incredible. Tool were playing a second show! This was an unprecedented conundrum I'd found myself in. Me, a loner, torn between a hot drow waifu lady or a not-so-hot midget with Tool tickets. I didn't know what I would do yet, but I knew I had to make this decision eventually.
Wake now. You'll feel better. I promise.
It was sunrise. The time had come for Minthara's attack, but I wasn't sure what to do after last night. So I made my way back to the grove, where they foolishly opened fire on me on sight.
Wait, bows down! Gods above, we took you for a goblin! Get up here!
This may have been a mistake on their part, but it helped me make my decision that this would in fact be the last mistake any of them would ever make. I spoke with their leader and gave him a last glimmer of hope, telling him, "Don't worry guys, I'm here to help," knowing it would make his death all the sweeter.
This is it. Everything turns on this. Get that damn gate closed!
Then as I opened the gates, the realization of their demise had finally slipped in.
What are you doing? They'll kill us all! Hells, you're with them, aren't you?
Being right in the fray amongst it all, I knew I had to get out of there so my reinforcements had time to arrive, managing to slip away by the skin of my teeth before Minthara's spiders came to my aid. As I brought the leader to his knees, a single stray spear throw later, he fell.
The way is clear. Now we can cleanse this place completely. Kill everyone.
Me and Minthara made our way down to the basement, where the women and children were hiding, and I reveled in the massacre. The cries for mercy, the screams of anguish. To make it perfect, I made sure the last one standing was the woman who disrespected me after saving her from that bugbear earlier, just so that she got to watch everyone she ever cared about die. It was glorious!
A glorious day. The Absolute will be pleased. But there is more to be done. This place is home to Druids. Root them out and kill them.
Minthara was right. Our work wasn't done yet. If we were truly to cleanse this place, the Druids had to go as well. Using advanced warfare tactics, I took advantage of the Druids' inferior intellect by engaging them in combat, only to run away and leave them trapped against a wall, thinking they could reach me from there while I baited them out one at a time. The Druid leader proved to be a difficult one, but was no match for a group of suicide bombers. The remaining Druids one by one fell to my advanced tactics. But when there were still two left, I was the last man standing on my team. I took down the first with reasonable ease, but the second kept turning into a stupid bird as a way of healing himself. The coward! However, little did he know, a recent scientific study showed that birds are actually allergic to greatswords, and victory was mine. I stole the Druid's stupid idol as, hey, they weren't using it anymore, and went to see exactly how Minthara wanted to celebrate this victory.
The true honor is to serve the Absolute. She loves you fiercely. I see that in the strength she has given you. And she has so much more to give. There is a bond between us, true soul. I can see what you are, what you want, and you can see what I want.
Through her eyes you see yourself, skin glistening with sweat, hands bound. Ecstasy or terror, maybe both. You feel her breath on your neck, her fingers running down your spine, and then it is over.
I will come to your camp tonight. We will celebrate this victory. Together.
Yay! We celebrated the genocide of Druid and Tiefling kind, and still feeling a bit hungover from all those mushrooms 3 days later, I decided to just stick to worms for the night.
She looks you up and down, her mind touches yours. You feel her hand at your neck, her lips closing around yours.
Minthara wanted me, and I was eager to give her what she wanted.
I will join you when you go to your bed. You are mine.
Oh, baby.
Your obedience will make this more enjoyable for both of us. Tell me what you want, and you shall have me.
As I lay there with her in my arms, I was overcome by strange feelings. What now? This was the first time anyone had ever taken a real interest in me. I liked it. Perhaps this was the end of my lonely nights. The end of my forever alone status. Minthara. I just wanted to hold her close and tight and...
Draw her closer, with all the vim of a lover's first embrace.
God fucking damn it! This is why I can't have nice things! Stupid fragile woman. Ah, well, sleep it off, I guess. The next morning, I returned to the goblin camp, hoping to find some sort of trail of breadcrumbs as to where I could go next, only to discover that the camp was now empty.
On their way to Moonrise with her ladyship. They left me here to make sure we ain't left nothing valuable.
Though all their riches, they'd just left behind, so I guess that was a win. I continued to navigate the dark, empty halls of the Goblin Fortress until eventually stumbling upon a puzzle. It was like a Rubik's Cube, but with circles, and really lame. So after about half an hour of brute forcing patterns into it, the puzzle eventually opened up and I made my way down this ladder, which seemingly went on forever. Until I made it through to a brand new area, underground and dark. An Underdark, if you will. I immediately took note of a mighty minotaur charging towards me and challenged him to a gentleman's game of snakes and ladders, knowing full well that minotaurs can in fact not climb ladders. But this encounter, it rattled me. If this was just the first enemy down here, then what else was going to be down here? I needed to come back later, and stronger. So I returned to the surface world with the sole purpose of killing every living thing that I could find. I started off with the goblin camp that ambushed me, picking them off in their individual groups of 2 to 3, one at a time. Then, taking advantage of both the high ground and proficiency with fire weapons I learned back in Nam, took out the larger group by the windmill. Good old Charlie burned all them goblins down by the old windmill. And then, with the sound of goblins screaming slowly fading away, I heard something in the distance, coming from the south.
Lads, for the love of all that is holy, I've never clapped eyes on your poor sister.
Drop the act, hag. You was the last to see me, Rena.
It was 2 ruffians trying to manhandle Aunt May! The absolute nerve of today's youth. Not wanting any harm to come to May, I didn't even listen to what these guys had to say and just immediately executed them both on the spot. It's what Uncle Ben would have wanted.
I'd best get going, but please stop by my house. I'd like to thank you proper.
With promise of warm milk and cookies, we made our way towards Aunt May's house soon enough, but first we had to make sure we had finished our genocide. Ooh, what does this button do? I made my way towards the knolls I saw the other day, but just before I reached them, I heard the sound of sweet lovemaking coming from the barn. Lovemaking? In my story? Absolutely not! And before anyone mentions in the comments me and Minthara did not make love, we fucked.
What the hell are you doing? Puny? I am strong. I am virile. I am
Enough! Oh, moment ruined. Passion squished like slow goats underfoot. Oh, we leave.
I ruined the moment by pointing out the size difference was like throwing a hot dog down a hallway, and to make sure there would be no encore performance, took down Big Birda before she could run away. Then made it to the knolls. Knowing they were essentially just big dogs, I used my big brain intellect and devised a most cunning plan to destroy them all. I would wait on the other side of the bridge, push them off, and then take pot shots at them from the high ground. God damn it, Zack, you're a tactical genius! But there were so many of them. I didn't have the strength or energy to take all of them, so elected to set up camp and finish the job in the morning. As I sit by the campfire, whistling show tunes to myself, I was approached by her.
Hark! A camp, and Hogma willing. Some friendly faces.
A dragon lady! And a show tune singing dragon lady! This was perfect. She could be the friend I've always wanted. She looks much more durable than Minthara ever did. Come on, lady, sing us a tune. What are you, a soprano? Baritone? Oh, please be a soprano.
This one, Sky Swaying, is about what it might feel like to mate in the air, in the age where wings were yet with us.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Oh, 69 more verses. I'm only just beginning.
Absolutely not.
You open your eyes with a lurch, and you are not in your bed. You stand above a body which is in a state of gore nearly beyond recognition. The body of that scared girl who asked for nothing more than a night of shelter. Her blood covers you, and its warmth feels like the embrace of an old friend.
She had it coming. I mean, she was a baritone, I was a baritone. We never would have worked out as a show tune duo, and I'd be damned if I was going to start a barbershop quartet. Sleep it off! But I couldn't sleep. It appeared no matter how much I tried, I couldn't stop thinking about my latest kill and how I wanted more. My bloodlust was insatiable. I took a walk to try and clear my head, but that's when everything changed forever.
My lord, jubilant day! I have found your vile self at last! Sceleritas fell. Your loyal and ever-adoring butler.
A friend? No. Better. A servant. A slave. Finally! A durable companion that would do whatever I said and could take the abuse. Just what I always wanted, Santa.
My, we will be reintroducing necrophilia to your schedule in no time.
My man!
Anyways, I come once again bearing a part of your dreadful inheritance.
What was that? What I thought it was? Yes! Harry Potter's cloak of invisibility. Oh man, this was gonna make my life so much easier.
Oh, my sanguine master. Your next work will be wonderful. It will be hard to improve upon what you have already done. I am a great admirer of what you did to the bard's left carotid artery. But I am certain inspiration will strike. Be true to yourself, my lord.
Feeling reinvigorated the following morning, I finished off the remaining gnolls using a mixture of gravity and barrelmancy, and made my way to a cave where two pathetic humans were attempting to fend off the last of the gnolls.
Who the hell's... Get over here and help! Ugh. If we don't deal with them gnolls, none of us are getting out of here alive.
But these were my kills! How dare they try and snipe them from me! I lied and told them I would help them, but in reality, these guys were just meat shields for me while I picked the survivors off from a distance with arrows and barrelmancy. And then only their leader remained, a truly worthy challenger. Our duel would be the stuff of legend. Oh, he's dead. Well, that was underwhelming. I don't know why those humans were willing to die for... What is this? A vase? But hey-ho, it's mine now. At this point, I felt I was ready to take on everything the Underdark had to throw at me. I just needed one more thing. A stronger weapon. And I knew just how to get it. Hey, you, zombie man. I'm planning a heist.
You son of a bitch! I'm in!
Oh, yeah. This'll do just fine. Being as prepared as I was ever going to be, I made my way back to the Underdark through a system of caves and tunnels that were filled with spiders and abominations. But they were no match for my new blade, forged in the fires of hell by demon dwarves with autism, so you know it was good. But I didn't realise that Shelob would be down here, and though I may be tough and my sword mighty, I'm no Samwise Gamgee. So like Peter Pan, I thought of happy thoughts and floated my way down the abyss. Mushrooms! Glorious, glorious mushrooms, Mr. Frodo! I bet these guys are hella chill.
You see a vision. Your lifeless body wrapped in fungal tendrils. The Sovereign is threatening you.
Oh. Well, being a bit of a mushroom connoisseur, I felt it only right that I at least heard them out.
Flesh talker, I show you a memory. Watch and listen.
A violent vision grips you. Dwegar, dark dwarves chopping myconid remains.
They broke our peace. They killed our young.
This was quite the predicament I found myself in. On the one hand, I could slaughter all of these Dwegar quite happily. I mean, at the end of the day, a kill that someone else makes is a kill that's stolen from me. And I do like mushrooms. But on the other hand, this guy seems weak and pathetic. I mean, who would let their people get killed by something half their size? Can you imagine being so pathetic? But with promise of treasure, I decided to help Mario and the Mushroom Kingdom. While walking around the camp, I saw this tiny lady who was looking for her husband. At first, I didn't have any interest in helping her, but after seeing she sold the finest potions in all the land, I wanted her to stick around for as long as possible. She can't have looked too hard for him though, because he was literally right around the corner.
People bag.
What?
Scroll. Escape. My bag, please. I've dropped it somewhere.
Oh, you mean this?
Yes, that's... yes!
Fortunately, I had just what he needed to get out of there. Unfortunately, the guy was an idiot who left behind some premium mushrooms. So after instant transmissioning my way in and out of the fiery mushroom cloud, I returned to the woman where she assured me she would stay and constantly restock her shop if I gave her this mushroom. I didn't want to, but I did what I needed to do. While searching for the Dwegar, I slayed many foes in the Underdark, including elves, Big Bird himself, more minotaurs, and some weird tunneling thing called a boulette, but I just called it a pussy because it ran away before I was able to finish the job. You coward! Hey, what's this?
In memory of Myrna, a shining light in this dark world, may you forever gaze upon the lake you loved to play in.
Well, if I wasn't above murder, I certainly wasn't above grave robbing. After hours and hours of travel, I looked on in horror as I discovered I had just come full circle and ended right back where I started, god damn it! But this time I was on the other side of the abyss, and I noticed petrified bodies from where I had been on the other side of the chasm. I wonder if they still feel pain. Wait, what? Oh my god. It was the most terrifying creature I had ever seen. I had to take it out, but I had to be smart about it. I made my way around to try see if I could trap it somehow. Maybe get some pot shots on it. And that's when this guy showed up.
My, what manner of place is this? A path to redemption? Or a road to damnation? Hard to say, for your journey is just beginning.
Look, whatever you're selling, I ain't buying.
This quaint little scene is decidedly too middle of nowhere for my tastes. The house of hope, where the tired come to rest and the famished come to feed lavishly. Go on, partake, enjoy your supper. After all, it might just be your last.
Well, I mean, free food's free food, I guess. So I filled my pockets.
Not easily rattled, I see. Good. Makes the next part that much more straightforward.
So what? Guy was a demon. Big whoop, I'd killed like 8 of you guys at this point.
Am I a friend? Potentially. An adversary? Conceivably. But a savior? That's for certain.
He wasn't taking the hint, so I told him, look, buddy, I already told you, I got bigger problems unless you can get me backseat tickets to the Tool concert happening in that weird dreamscape fantasy dimension the midget emo lady told me about, then I'm not interested! Anyway, where was I? I took my position at the window to get the creature's attention, convinced there was no way it could fit through the— oh my god, it fit through the window! Run away! Run away! I gave it a moment so the creature might forget I was ever there and re-entered the room. The beast had completely forgotten I existed. This was it. My shot. But I had to be sneaky. I crouched down, snuck behind, and stabbed him in the back. And again, and again, and another time, until the beast had finally fallen to me. No one survives the slaughter of Solo Sack, not even a beast like you. At this point, having not had any luck finding where these Dwagar were and essentially just going in a full circle, I returned to the Mushroom Kingdom and thought, fuck it, I'm gonna guarantee my reward and take it anyway. It's kept behind vines. I mean, vines! And I've got a sword! I mean, come on, I was surprised no one had robbed these mushroom people earlier. And then, just as I was leaving, adamant that at this point the Mushroom Kingdom would see no help from me, I saw the chunkiest fun guy I'd ever seen.
I am the danger, and I am the cure. They erased my people. I will erase theirs.
He was bloodthirsty and knew where the Dwagar were. So I told him to tag along, but no killing. That honor was mine. He reluctantly agreed and showed me where the camp was. And as we made our way to the shoreline, I spotted him, just sitting there, like an idiot. Not wanting to waste any time, I instant transmissioned to his side and slit his throat on sight. I was getting stronger, more confident, and ready to kill more. But after killing that one, Fat Boy told me that was it. Really? I thought I'd need to kill more than just one to get your approval, but I mean, okay. And on our way back to the Mushroom Kingdom, Fatty told me something.
Here, I break ground. From the dark will a mighty circle rise. My song will fill the grotto.
He was tired of living under such a little bitch and wanted to usher in a new age of power. Now this I could get behind. So me and my new best friend returned home to stage a coup. And right now, I could tell you exactly why he wasn't happy with this guy ruling. Absolutely pathetic defenses. Seriously, how do you expect to lead a kingdom when you can't stand up to a two-man coup? God, how embarrassing! So now the new supreme leader had another target for me.
You see Glut's old grotto once more, but this time wreathed in flame. Amid the slaughter strides a drow.
A drow in a place called the Grymforge, and while I wasn't exactly happy being an errand boy, I was happy with all this death and destruction he was throwing my way. I had my new goal, find the drow and kill him. I journeyed southwest until I came across a tower of heavy artillery defenses. This had to be it. Using my happy thoughts of that one night with Minthara, I Peter Pan around the outside where I came across a lift, and rode it all the way to the top, where I found this cool-looking robot dude. He told me to be careful because his friends were here and they all had hay fever, so I did the natural thing that anybody else in my situation would have done. I covered them all in flowers and sent them to Robot Jesus.
Pain sensor overload.
But all of this killing had really given me an appetite, so I made my way to a local fishing spot that Mario the Mushroom told me about. But these were definitely not the fish I was expecting.
Words, priest. Promises. Your god wants proof. Wants blood.
They were worshipping a god, but a false god, a pretender. I had already eliminated one false leader today, and I was ready to take out my second. The fish people, inspired and in awe of my slaughter, made me their new god. I had but one commandment for my people, and that was to build me an army worthy of Mordor. And that when the time was right, they would fight for me. And after leaving the fishing hamlet, it suddenly dawned on me. The Dwagar from before. They had a boat! Oh, I'm an idiot! As I sailed into the night, I was intercepted by more Dwagar. But luckily for me, their brains were as small as their stature, so they were easy to convince I was a friend while I got my bearings and thought of a cover story.
Where's Gek? Who are you?
All right. No reason to get your tongue in a twist.
Well, come on. Let's get you to shore. You'll need to report to the sergeant.
After arriving on shore, this woman tried giving me a shakedown, but I told her to shake down someone her own size and gender.
Unclog your hole. Just shitting around.
As I made my way through to find the drow, I overheard talks of another coup.
We ain't need glory, just coin. And Near's got plenty. Help Thryn free Near. Then you and my chums grind him up. Whatever the spoils, we'll drop you a fat cut. You in?
Hey, I've already helped overthrow one alliance today, what's another? They told me I'd need to get rid of this floating ball before they could do anything because it was live streaming to Twitch. And Twitch don't care about anyone breaking the rules or health and safety regulations. Unacceptable! No witnesses! With the all-seeing eye of Dan Clancy destroyed, I returned to the rebels to initiate the plan. They told me they couldn't execute their plan until they found a way to clear the rubble, but little did they know I was a barrelmancer. And after scaring the local slave populace with my boomstick, the drow was freed.
Finally. Worthless slaves! Your incompetence has been my ruin!
Does not fail.
Hold up, wait.
Baldurs!
Let him cook.
No!
Not wanting to get more involved in politics than I already had, I asked if we could get on with the killing as I had a mushroom man waiting for this guy's head.
Heretics. Let Nier be your end.
The drow went down like an absolute bitch. He didn't even get to do anything. He just stood there and bled out in front of me while all these Dwagar just killed each other, and I reveled in the bloodshed. The Elder was pleased with my work and mentioned something about a general in a Moonrise Tower, but I'm sure that wasn't ever going to come up again. When it came time to pay me, the cheapskate pulled the old, "Oh no, someone's robbed me" trick, so I took my gold from the corpses and returned to the Mushroom Kingdom to claim my prize. A private audience with the Squilliam Fancy Son. He told me he had some more magic mushrooms for me, and I'm not gonna lie, your boy was clucking for a fix. So I said yes. But these, they weren't like the mushrooms from the Tool concert. Hold on a minute. They were organic! Oh, disgusting! I used all of my willpower to resist the visions that may turn me into something horrible, like a vegan. Unfortunately, my willpower prevailed.
The parasite in your mind quiets, pleased with itself.
Omeluum, are you well?
That lava is like nothing I have ever observed before. Its power is unsettling.
Of course you've never seen anything like this. Squilliam, me, I'm the guy. Sober and disappointed, I returned to the Dwagar encampment only to find they'd all abandoned ship. Oh well, best start owning all over this bitch. The loot, plentiful, and the remaining defenses, pathetic. Just a bunch of slimy balls that made me feel sticky and feel things I probably shouldn't be feeling. And after clearing out the surrounding areas, I encountered a cave-in. Where most people would have considered this the journey's end, I, as a barrelmancer, would let nothing stop me from seeing just how deep this rabbit hole of a treasure goes. And beyond the cave-in, I could see exactly why it had been sealed off. It was an unused obstacle course for Takeshi's castle, with bridge puzzles, flaming obstacles, trick switches, and demons. It was very obvious now why this episode never made it to air and had been sealed off for no one to see. After overcoming the obstacle course, I found myself in the fires of Mount Doom itself, where I was ambushed by Hellspawn. Not wanting to fight them on their own turf, I instant transmission to the high ground to take advantage and fight them on equal footing. Fortunately, much like every other enemy I had countered thus far, brain size seems equivalent to physical size. So instead of bum rushing me, they just floated up one at a time to get smashed. An easy victory. But what were they guarding exactly? Pure, unaltered, uncarbonated, totally raw mithril. I just had to do something with this. While searching for more ore, I found a really conveniently placed instruction manual on how to forge with mithril. It was almost like the gods wanted me to have this. I found the remaining ore that I needed along with this really cool treasure chest being guarded by a flame construct. And if all my years of being a nerd have taught me anything, it's that anything guarded by a monster on fire is something worth happening. I tried engaging him in fair combat, but it was very clear he was cheating and using hacks as he had infinite healing, and I didn't want to mess with no cheater. I just wanted my sweet new mithril armor set. After getting away, I checked out the sweet loot he was guarding and...
The amulet is heavy, but holds a subtle warmth, like it was left under the sun. Suddenly, the metal surges with heat. You feel great power and an overwhelming urge to laugh.
Can thou endure?
You've heard of the man too angry to die, right, guys? Well, now you're dealing with the man too angry to laugh.
Sheer unbridled rage floods your veins, obliterating the urge to laugh.
Thou hast done well. For what is a laugh, if not one step toward madness? Return me, take me home, and thou shalt glow with blessings.
I'm gonna stick this in my pocket for later. The time had come. I placed the mithril, inserted the mold, and pulled the switch. come on, man, I just want some new armor already. I could tell that whatever this thing was meant business, and I had to act fast if I wanted my sweet new armor. I moved to the center of the forge, where the hammer would strike down. I dodged this Mechagodzilla's opening blow, and after Misty Step, brought down the hammer. He was down, and I could see my prize. But he also summoned friends. God damn it, does no one believe in a gentleman's duel anymore? I Peter Panned my way out of there to assess the situation and pick off his friends. But it turned out they weren't even his friends. This guy just hated everyone. I can respect that. But right now, respect didn't matter. I needed my armor. I instant transmissioned my way down and grabbed what was rightfully mine. Then, using the last of my power, got the hell out of there to change into some new threads. I made my way out of the Grymforge to return to the surface world, as I'd almost completely forgotten. We promised Aunt May that we'd visit her for milk and cookies soon.
I don't want a crumb left on that plate, girl.
Auntie Ethel, please. One more bite and this pie is gonna come back up to say hello.
Don't make me get the wooden spoon. You're eating for two, so get to it.
Aunt May, that is not MJ. Who is this woman?
Gods grant me patience. Eat up, Mayrina. I won't say it again. Keep that hole under your nose shut, or things will get messy.
What is it? What's going on?
I had a difficult choice. Lie and keep May happy, or tell the truth and break this poor young woman's heart. So actually not a difficult choice at all.
Ha! You want to play it like that? Fine. Yes, girl. I killed your brothers.
That can't be true. Auntie Ethel.
They were being rude, and I detest rudeness.
You monster! The deal is off!
Enough! Away with you! Blessed silence at last. Some time in the cage should do her good. And you'll regret sticking your nose in my business.
That's when I realized that this woman wasn't Aunt May at all. It was the Green Goblin, and he had stolen Mysterio's tech to make this illusion world around me. I chased the goblin into his lair, where he'd set a series of traps for me. Traps that led to the deaths of innocents at every turn. But unfortunate for them, I was no hero.
No! No! Why? Why'd you remove the spell if you couldn't fix me? Oh, God! No! Ah, help! Ah, I don't want to die! Ah.
The Green Goblin really thought I would care about killing these nobodies, but bitch, I didn't even know them! I finally caught up with him to find not MJ locked in a cage.
You come to my home, interfere in my business, and now have the gall to face me in the heart of my lair. You petulant bollocks! I'll rip your spine out your asshole! I'll use your blood to spice my stew! I'll keep you alive until I've sucked the marrow from your bones. And then I'll bring you back and do it all over again. You want the girl so bad. Fine. Roasted.
I made sure to free her straight away and then focus all of my energy on the fake goblin illusions. Finding the real one was easy enough, as anybody who's seen Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 can tell you that the Green Goblin is incredibly weak to sharp-pointed objects.
Oh. Wait! Wait just a tick!
Killing me is a waste of time. I'll find a way to return. Always have, always will. But it's unpleasant. So how about we be civilized about this, I have something you want.
Let me leave with the girl, and I'll give you power. You want to be stronger, tougher, smarter? Done!
anything is possible. Just let me keep the girl and her babe. It's your choice, sweetness.
Bargaining? When I had them on the ropes? Pathetic! No, they would give me everything and leave with nothing.
You greedy little bollocks. Fine. Here. I'll not soon forget this sweetness. You have my word.
But the deal? What about my husband? What happens to him?
Deal's off, you dumb cow. And you've him to thank for it. Not that it matters. I'll find another just as plump and ripe. Bye-bye, Ethel.
With Goblin's hair chowed down, I became even stronger. And not MJ was about as ungrateful as Toby Maguire's landlord when he paid the rent that one time.
Give me rent. You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
What thanks? A slap is all you deserve. Ethel was going to bring my husband back from the dead, and now I'll never see him again. Because of you!
I looted all of Gobby's various lotions and potions and found a really cool magic wand before making my way out, where I found not MJ once again crying over seemingly nothing.
The thought of putting him in a wheelbarrow and making the journey all over again.
Seeing as I'd already got my prize, I decided I would at least humour the girl and try to bring her husband back.
What? What's happening? Why is he still dead?
Hey, I'm a barbarian, not a mage. What did you expect to happen?
You feel something pull at you. The creature yearns for a master.
The thought of keeping him as a pet did cross my mind, but given these two were betrothed and my enjoyment of necrophilia, I let them on their way so I would have something for the memory bank later, if you know what I mean. Giggity.
I'll figure something out. Come on, love. Let's go.
At this point, I well and truly had no other reason to stay. I had pillaged the lands both above and below. My only remaining option was to head deeper inland, west. After an hour or so of trekking, I came across a stray dog. A horrific sight even for me. His owner, dead. And I wasn't the one to do it. I saw a lot of myself in that dog. A proud animal, left alone in this cold, dark world. I tried convincing him to come along, but to no avail, so I held out my hand so he could get my scent and track me down again in future. I really hoped I would see that good boy again one day. And not too far off from the dog, came across a cave with large tracks leading inside. Not wanting to leave anything else alive in this land before I departed, ventured in, where I came across the most magnificent beast.
Its beaked face looming out of the darkness.
Oh, I wasn't about to back down from this. I came for a fight, and a fight I'm gonna have. Unfortunately, while I got a fight, it wasn't a very long one.
A single strike will end his suffering. You watch, speechless, as the cub begins to eat his mother.
Damn, nature, you scary.
I then found a pathetic human hiding in a barn, and given my current mission before moving on was leave no survivors, dealt with him swiftly. Then after going through a secret door in the man's closet, I found an entire underground black market. The humans were easy enough to trick into disabling their traps, allowing me safe passage, which would inevitably be their last mistake. I spoke to the woman who claimed to be their leader. Imagine that, a woman for a leader! She told me about some of their friends they lost contact with, which were fetching her a new vase. I told her, well, I recently saw some humans. I told her they died a horrible death and I took the vase from them.
You opened the shipment. You've killed me. You've bloody killed us all. damned if I won't return the favor. Lads, kill him.
Whatever you want, wench. This'll be you and your friend's funeral. After killing the pathetic leader and every other human in sight, I ransacked the entire black market for anything that wasn't nailed down, and sent all of their barrels to my camp for later, use, shall we say. And after a long day of killing, decided to set up camp, where I was delighted to see that the dog from earlier had indeed returned to me. Don't you worry, boy. I won't die on you. Not like your last master did.
I was hiding under your porch because I love you. Can I stay?
Can you stay? Well, you're my dog, aren't you? And I'm your master.
And as I woke up that morning, me and the good boy crossed the bridge into uncharted territory to continue my quest. There was something about this new land that felt familiar to me. I couldn't help but feel like I'd been here before. I asked the local necromancer where I could get a bite to eat, but him and his friends weren't exactly keen on talking to me. So I decided to do a little bit of a science experiment and see if a being capable of raising the dead was capable of raising themselves. As it turned out, they were not capable. I then came across an old woman who was a lot more talkative. A little too talkative. She told me of a Githyanki Creche nearby and... oh no. That was when I realized exactly where I was. This was the place, the same daycare my mom dropped me off at when Dad never came home with the milk. I hated it here. I needed to make sure that this place was destroyed, wiped from the face of the earth, for my own personal therapeutic needs. Lady also asked me to steal her a baby Githyanki egg. I mean, she did tell me where I was, and when did a little kidnapping ever hurt anyone? Alright, you got a deal. But you gotta pay up front.
Very well. Here's the money. Now, I expect a speedy delivery.
As I made my way down towards the creche, I overheard some of the daycare workers arguing with some customers.
Enough. On your feet.
Where are you taking us?
If this is about that weapon your friend was talking about, we don't have it and we don't know shit about it.
Silence! Move!
No, I'm not going in there. I won't.
You see why I hated it here?
Your curiosity is getting the better of you. Do not let it. Stay away from the Githyanki.
The lady with tool tickets in my head told me to stay away, but as always, you should never listen to the voices in your head, because I had a plan. I snuck in through the back door, which led to the wine cellar guarded by alcoholic lizard people, which they have in every daycare. And being a bunch of drunkards proved no challenge for a mighty warrior such as myself, forcing all of them through a narrow chokehold and taking advantage of the flammability of alcohol. I continued my climb towards the summit, where I was ambushed by the Creche's kitty patrol. Any normal person dealing with this many psychic felines at once would be a death sentence, but I was not a normal person. I was an autistic green man coming down from a mushroom high after a Tool concert with a pet worm named Gregory on a mission to destroy his childhood daycare center. I was anything but normal. I fought my way through the kitty patrol, a ghost man, 2 big birds which I'm not even sure were part of the security detail, but I felt like killing them anyway. Until eventually I made it to the front door. There was only one way I'd be able to get in close enough to where I needed to go. I'd have to lie and say that I needed their help. Oh God! Just the thought of asking for help, the thought of it now makes me sick!
You are infected. A gig thrall is something to eradicate, not reason with. The Inquisitor better not hear of this. Report to the infirmary.
I went to the healthcare unit, if you can even call it that, and spoke with the nurse, who agreed to give me treatment to remove my worm Gregory with electroshock therapy.
Either your tadpole is special, or you are. We must find out which. Go to the safest. I will ensure you're cured.
I'm sure it wouldn't be that bad. Oh, yeah! Oh, the pain. I loved it! I told the nurse to crank it up another level and oh man, this was a rush. Ah, come on, more, more.
That's it. Soon your suffering will be over, Ken.
The device yearns for the creature, for every part of you tainted by its presence. You will be consumed. The tadpole quivers. Different magic is building within it. This one is ancient. Rotten.
No more!
And then just as I was approaching my climax, the voice in my head had to get involved and overloaded the damn machine. God damn it! I was so close. Not wanting to blow my cover, I lied, said the treatment worked, Gregory was gone, and I was now healthy as a crab.
Really? Then all this destruction was a symptom of its power? Incredible. I am disappointed that we could not extract it alive. It would have been an exceptional specimen. In any case, your problem is resolved. Leave me. I must salvage what I can.
Knowing I was so close to reaching my goal, I stopped by the nursery wing, the same wing where my mum left me as an egg. It was heavily guarded, with a pool of acid, obstacle courses, and several armed men willing to die before letting anyone touch that egg. Stealing this would prove as quite the challenge for anyone that didn't have Harry Potter's cloak of invisibility. Yoink! It was then that I entered the assistant manager's office, the last hurdle I'd have to cross before being able to say goodbye to this hellhole once and for all.
Small, angular, metal, adorned with Tirsu script, stolen by true soul heretics. You know something. Do you have it?
Do you mean... my precious? My precious! Look with your eyes, not with your hand, lady.
Yes. There it is. Exactly as described. The Inquisition will finally come to an end.
And unfortunately for her, she was not, in fact, the guy. I was.
Ah! Trickery? Heresy? How did you... You manipulate it when I cannot? It appears you have been chosen, Vin Isk. How lucky you are. Take the weapon yourself, then. Seek the Ch'rai below.
And now realizing this, she had no choice but to let me pass and get a meeting with the head honcho, the daycare manager.
I heard enough druids died by your hands to make the deity Sylvanus himself weep. I suspect you plucked something precious from the Geik ship. Something our queen has been looking for. The weapon. Give it to me.
He had quite clearly heard all about my exploits over the past few days. But what did he mean, the queen? This was just a daycare center. Everyone knows the queen doesn't really exist. Oh my god, she's real!
My child, you walk on the path of ascension. Extend your fealty one step further, and you will be rewarded beyond your mortal reckoning. The astral prism. It is corrupted.
I shall cleanse it for you, my queen. Tell me how.
Silence, Wargas. There is someone inside. Their mind is warped, broken, a blight. They are an agent of the Grand Design, sent to sabotage the Astral Prism. Our last defense against the return of the Illithid Empire. As long as they live, the prism is compromised. Find the one inside and destroy them. Be aware, they are not alone, and they will appeal to your trust. They are not to be believed. You must accept. Refuse, and know my fury.
This was it. The hardest decision I'd ever made in my entire life. Enter the precious artifact in the name of the glorious God Queen, or forsake it all to protect the voice in my head.
Use the Planecaster's power to enter the prison. Be wary of the creature's lying tongue. Cut it out if you must.
Congratulations are in order, Rastiel. You have been chosen for our holy crusade.
Don't do it.
You've got me this far, Magic Head Lady, and I'm not forgetting my mission. This place needs to go down! It was a bloodbath, an absolute massacre, but thanks to the Cloak of Invisibility and my magic big sword, I had prevailed. I entered the main reactor, much like the wine cellar, something that I'm very sure that every daycare center has. Engineered my way through the security systems, and there it was, the nuclear core. I removed the fusion engine, which happened to look just like a mace. And then the countdown begun. I had to get out of there.
Everything is in motion. All within these walls are doomed to destruction unless you act.
I went through the emergency exit, ran across the roof, and without so much as a second to spare, I made it out. I had taken down the Creche, the place of nightmares. Fare thee well, childhood trauma. You shall not be missed. Haunt me no longer. I returned to the Egg Lady to give her the stolen child, as though I may be a lot of things, a man that goes back on his word is not one of them.
Thank you. Paying up front seems to have had its benefits. A pleasure to do business with you.
Tired after a mission well completed, I set up camp, and over the coming days would walk many miles, and each night at camp, I was visited by something. The owlbear cub whose mother I killed in cold blood. Orphaned, like me, by me. This thing had the potential to grow up into an absolute killing machine. Something I couldn't afford not to have. I fed it, nursed its wounds, gained its trust. And we ventured on into the distance. Just a man, a dog, and his owlbear companion, not knowing what dangers awaited them on the road ahead, not knowing what trials or tribulations would lie in front of them as we left this forsaken world and made our way into the Shadowlands.